Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setups for today. So we have some really strong diversions forming here. So you can see there is a high, lower high grouping, looking like it's going to roll over. Look at price action here. We've got, if we look in lower time frames, that's more than likely going to be a head and shoulders forming there. For me, three tails like that is always a bit of a worrying sign. Bear in mind that you have the FOMC statement coming out this evening for me, mid-morning for USA, but yeah, we're looking a little bit tired. So what we're expecting from the FOMC or from the Feds is really rates hike in the future, so a plan of action of how they're going to raise rates. And the other thing is a plan of action for the tapering. In other words, to start selling off all their equity holdings and bond holdings. Well, I won't say all of them, but a large portion of them. So that's kind of what everybody's bracing themselves for. And of course, there will be panic, and because we've read about it and we've been told about it for the last 3 months, but now we will panic about it today. And that's just as the algorithms start trading the noise. And then we'll find a base somewhere and we'll continue sort of in the trend that we were going, which is up at the moment. So with all of that noise in the back of your mind, I think you need to just pay attention to oscillators at the moment. You can see all the oscillators are indicating that we are a little bit tired. Pay attention to your levels. Okay, so your levels are pretty important right now. And if we come down to the 1 hour, you'll see inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. That is a pretty bearish pattern that you see there. When you see a green bar up and then you start going sideways like that, inside bar, inside bar. So that's a pretty bearish pattern. We've broken to the downside. Does look like we're finding some sort of support here at the previous swing high. Problem is you've got much bigger levels to the downside. So what typically happens with big noise items or news items coming out is you typically either slide in a direction, and normally that's sort of the opposite direction to which the move typically goes, or alternatively what happens is you just start going sideways or into a triangle. FOMC normally results in a triangle, so it waits for Europe to open. First hour of Europe typically gives you a little bit on the table, and then it just goes into a triangle for the rest of the day. And that's what I'm anticipating today. I don't think we're going to see anything else on the cards right now. So looking at the hour, you can see we are in an upward trend. We tested the break of the moving averages. Here we tested the 155. We tested the moving averages there. We tested them again. I would suspect we come back into some form of structure, and there is lots of structure here. So each of these inside tails here, there offers structure. So what you're looking for is 35,966, 35,940, or alternatively you're looking for 35,900. So those are the levels at the moment. If you look at the moving averages, the oscillators right now, we are sort of moving to the downside, and by the looks of things you can see how the fast stochastic is still hovering at the top, while the slow one's moving to the downside. That's normally, if it crosses over when they're far apart, remember, there's a small example of them crossing over far apart. It's normally a more violent move than when they just group to the downside. Like as you can see there, they group the downside up and it's all over the place, and then it forms diversions before moving. But I'm just trying to find to see if there is one. I don't want to waste too much time. There is one there. Okay, it was one violent bar, but I think you get the picture. Okay, so pay attention to that. So what we're looking for is structure. It does look like a bit of a flag forming as well, and trend is up. The other thing that you should do is just get your trend line in. That will give you a fairly good indication of where the level is. So that's kind of my view at the moment. Definitely still looking for upside, but everything's looking a little bit tired, and we know what's coming from the FOMC. We know what the Fed's going to do. So yeah, it's difficult to try and second guess what the market's going to do, because unfortunately we're trading against hundreds of thousands of computers with automated trading systems in place. So And somewhere along the line, a whole lot of them have been designed for FOMC minutes. The last thing just on the US markets is that there are a whole lot of puts that were purchased on Friday and Friday and Monday. Yeah, Friday and Monday. There were a whole lot of puts that were purchased. Now, it's either puts that have been put in place for anticipation of a pullback, or it's just insurance for the noise that's going to come out of the FOMC. So difficult to understand why people bought the puts, but that's kind of what we've got there. So for me, be cautious. Just worry about this. Don't try and trade the noise. Let the noise go and then trade it. So for me, I'd probably look for something on early this morning, which would more than likely be on the DAX. There's a little bit to offer on the DAX, and then just leave the US markets until the noise is out the way, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow morning. Anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.